Hey, In2Picklers, Tony coming to you today here from studio in Clearwater. As most of you already know, we're working with Eddie Adkins from the Eddie and Webby podcast. Eddie has been gracious enough to let us work with him so that we can use some of the footage from his matches to help not just him, but help everybody in their quest to become a benchmark 4.0 player. What we're going to focus on today is we're going to focus on court movement and flowing with the ball. It's a really important concept. You can have a good foundation and a great stroke, but if you're not in the right place when you're going to hit the ball, it's very difficult to execute a good shot. So we're going to look at that today. But before we do that, I want to look at Eddie's progress from the last video and see where we are today compared to where we were a month and a half or so ago when we did the first video with Eddie. So let's take a look at that. We had two primary focuses when we first started working with Eddie. One was his foundation. Eddie had a tendency to lift his leg when he hit a stroke. So we were trying to get that corrected and get that leg to stay down so that he had a stronger foundation when he hit the ball. And the other thing we were working on was to minimize the loop on his swing. Those of you who have been following In2Pickle know that one of our biggest adjustments that we make for players' games is to reduce the backswing. It's a really important skill to learn in pickleball, to reduce the backswing. And Eddie's stroke had a big loop, as you can see here. Our objective was to get him to reduce the loop in his swing and have a shorter backswing in his stroke. Let's see how he did in his latest match that he sent us and see if there's any improvement in his foundation and stroke mechanics. First thing you're going to notice is that when Eddie moves forward to hit the ball, he has virtually no loop on his stroke, so much more compact stroke, much better stroke. And then the second thing you'll notice is that he's keeping his feet on the ground, which is a much better foundation from which to execute the stroke. Eddie's really taken to heart the prior advice we gave him and has much improved his shot. So now let's take a look at a couple of areas that Eddie can improve to keep on building on his game. The first thing we're going to look at is Eddie keeping his weight forward and engaged. That will help him in terms of his control, power, and also avoiding pop-ups. So let's see how that works. In this first sequence, what you're going to see is you're going to see Eddie get pushed back a couple of times after his serve. So he's going to serve. He's going to basically cheat in a little bit. He's going to then have to move back off the screen to hit the ball. And then he gets attacked again. He has to move back again. Pushing him back is making him lift the ball and creating a pop-up that can be attacked. These next two shots, you're going to see how getting pulled to the side, basically his weight is being pulled over to the side. He doesn't have enough power on the stroke to then get the ball over the net. Here on the other side, you're going to see the same thing. His weight getting pulled over to the other side now. And again, his weight is pulling back, and it's just not enough power to get the ball over the net. So you need to keep that weight engaged in the stroke. This next one, you're going to see much better movement by him. So here he moves over. He's stretched, but he keeps his body, his foundation in good position, hits contact, makes contact out in front, and then executes a nice stroke there. On this next one, you're going to see also another way to keep the body weight engaged is by cutting off the angle. So by cutting off the angle here, he doesn't let the ball get behind him. He can keep his body weight in front of him and execute a much better shot. The next piece of advice we have for Eddie on this video is one of the most important parts of pickleball, which is moving properly with the point, or moving with the flow of the point. What you want to do is move with the flow of the point, left, right, front, and back, so that you're in the best position to execute the next shot. We're going to look at several points from this match to illustrate this point. In this first one, we're going to look at Eddie's approach to the ball, or how Eddie moves on this point. What you're going to see is the ball here gets hit cross-court, a cross-court third shot by Eddie's partner. Eddie's angle of approach here is to come straight in. You can see basically he's coming straight forward here. The reason he's doing that is because when you'll see from this yellow oval that we put here, this is where the ball is currently as Eddie is moving. The problem with this motion is that the ball is actually going to end up over where the blue circle is now. That's where the ball is going to end up. And so what Eddie needs to do is Eddie needs to follow the blue path, or the blue arrow, towards where the ball is going to be at the time it gets hit, not the yellow arrow towards where the ball is currently at the time Eddie is moving. That's really important, is to move with the point based on where the next ball is going to be hit. What you'll see here is you'll see Eddie's partner follows the ball that he hit towards it so that he cuts off the angles available to the opponent on executing the next shot. As we let the play continue to develop, what you'll see is you'll see how there's an opening that starts opening up on Eddie's right there as his opponent's ready to hit the ball. And so you'll see how the ball actually ended up on the blue circle rather than on the yellow circle, which is the one that Eddie had been going towards. And so that allows Eddie's opponent, Tim, to basically attack him down the line and stretch him, resulting in a pop-up and a potential put-away opportunity for Tim. In this next sequence, what we're going to look at is a return of serve. So Eddie returns a serve directly down the line, and he comes in basically straight and a little bit to his right, so he's favoring the middle. What happens there is it opens up angles for Tim Tim can hit along the yellow arrows here and stress Eddie and his partner. The easier one for Tim to hit is the straight down the line arrow, and he does that, and you'll see how it stresses Eddie, resulting in a bad shot. Let's look at it one more time. Here you're going to see a situation where Eddie comes over to the middle to execute a third shot drive. And then as his partner starts to go cross court, Eddie comes basically straight in, opening up his left. He's able to cover that there. And then you'll see they come up to the no volley zone here and do a much better job of movement here, moving kind of back and forth here, following the ball, which is pretty good. Here, what I want to do is give you a little extra bonus tip. I'll do another video on this more in depth. But what you have to do is when you're playing opponents, you have to be able to threat assess your opponents. And if you watch this match, what you see is that the opponent directly across from Eddie has an excellent reach backhand punch volley or attack volley. What you don't want to do in that situation is go at that person's strength. So what you want to do there actually is go at that player's forehand instead of going at his backhand. It'll be a much better opportunity to win the point. Again, we'll do another video fully on that. I just wanted to point that out in this video as a little extra bonus tip for you while you're out there playing. Last point we're going to watch in this video is going to be one where there's really nice movement back and forth. You're going to see Eddie and his partner moving really well. Actually, Tim and his partner too, moving pretty well, flowing with the point, back and forth. It's just a really nice point. And the players do a really good job of flowing with the movement of the ball as they develop the point.